The Leigh 18-inch Super Jig is a new generation dovetail jig spawned by the famous Leigh D4 series. The Leigh Super Jigs are loaded with features and come with everything you need to get started making dovetail joints quickly. The body of the jig is made from a precision aluminum extrusion that's engineered to be strong and flex resistant. Abrasive strips on the front and top help ensure that the material doesn't move during routing. Lever clamps on the front and top make securing the material quick and easy. To adjust the clamping range, you just turn the lever in or out as needed and then reapply it. The Super Jig uses a step side stop on the top that makes working with rabbeted drawer fronts virtually automatic. The front side stop is fixed but needs to be adjusted during the initial setup. If you follow the instructions, take your time, and use pieces of wood that are actually square, setting this up is no problem and ensures perfect fitting joints. The high-strength end caps on the ends of the body even have slots for screwing the jig to a board that makes clamping it to a bench much easier. And Leigh even supplies the square drive screws that work with the included driver. Leigh also includes a kind of pull-out cheat sheet. This can be installed under either end of the jig and provides tips on commonly used procedures. The Super Jig uses solid fingers rather than the split versions like on the D4 series. But like the D4, the Super Jig fingers can be placed wherever needed to create the joint look that you want. At each end of the guide finger bar, you find the scale assemblies that show you clearly what mode you're in. The current mode is always at the front and right side up. These plastic rail pieces are also included. Two of them can be cut up to make bridges that go between widely spaced fingers when making half blind. The third one is pressed into the ends of the fingers and used as a guide fence for making sliding dovetails. Leigh also includes this nylon stop rod that's used when making the single pass half blind dovetails. The Super Jig kit includes 3 dovetail bits that cover half blind and through dovetails. The 5/16" straight bit is also used for making finger joints. Leigh also includes their very trick E-bush that's used for making all of the joints on this jig. The special thing about this E-bush is that the collar itself is oblong. When making finger joints, we can turn this collar to make the joint looser or tighter. And Leigh even made the nut that locks the E-bush in place very easy to use. The user guide tells you all about installing the E-bush, including making the scribe line. It has to point at the back of the router as you use it. You use that scribe line to adjust the E-bush to tighten or loosen the fit of the joint. To set up for making box joints, we use the spacer that's included with the Super Jig kit. This spacer creates gaps between the fingers that's identical to the space within the fingers, so we get consistently sized fingers down the full length of the joint. Now we can go ahead and route the fingers in the first board. To create the offset in the fingers on the second board, we snap in the spacer that's included with the kit. This moves the board over so we have sockets at the ends of the board so the fingers from the other side of the joint fit into them. And now we can route the second board. And thanks to the design of the Super Jig and any adjustments we might need from the E-bush, we get nice, clean-fitting finger joints. Install the included stop rod and the spacer to create the offset, and you can cut half-blind dovetails in the tail and pin pieces at the same time. This Super Jig is equipped with the optional VRS vacuum and router support system. This shroud on the underside of the bar follows the router along to collect nearly all of the chips it makes when cutting the joints. The fully adjustable guide wires on either side of the router is what makes that shroud follow it along while you're making the cuts. The top of the VRS bar is flush with the top of the guide fingers. This helps prevent the router from tipping while you're making the cut and makes the joints just that much more accurate. The VRS kit comes with hose adapters to accommodate the common size hoses in use in the wood shop. As always, Leigh includes the best written, best illustrated user guide in the business, and you include a very well done instructional DVD as well. If you take the time to get familiar with the Leigh Super Jig and read and understand the user guide, making ultra-precise dovetail joints is a lot faster and easier than you think. If you want to make variably spaced through dovetails, various types of half blinds, finger joints without the frustration, or even sliding dovetails, A Leigh super jig just might be in your future.